What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and this is a very interesting exchange between Gina Carano and a bum traitor of the American people, or journalist, that I wanted to bring to light. Obviously, I am friendly with Gina Carano. I wouldn't say we kick it all the time or anything like that, but you know, I do have my biases there. That Gina's a genuinely nice person that I've met and spent time with, and I think that I am. I do have some degree of loyalty to her, but I also have a loyalty to the truth. And in this particular story, this journalist who sold out America ends up exposing the fact that he's got no clue exactly what is going on, because there's been a lot of leftists that are trying to dunk on Gina Carano by saying, oh my God, Terror on the Prairie only made $800 in the box office. It was never supposed to be released in the box office. Everyone already paid Daily Wire to see it. Everybody that was interested in seeing it already paid money to see it once. Why would they go back to the movie theater to pay to see it again? But they're not interested in the truth or really any factual representation. And this, something tells me this little journalist had to run away and change his shorts based on Gina's reply. And we'll get into that. I've got a great sponsor for him. Check it out. It's Sheath. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor. That's right. Sheath. These boxers are designed to keep your balls off your legs. Sheath has 3 individual compartments to keep everything down there separate and cool and comfortable. And hey, since they've been a long-time sponsor, I've heard from many of you who have tried out Sheath and really love it. They were invented by a U.S. Army soldier who came up with the idea for Sheath during his second tour in Iraq, where it was hot as heck and his boys needed to breathe. And on top of all sorts of awesome designs for Sheath, they've added all sorts of winter items, hoodies, gator necks, and all sorts of base layers. Head on over to the link in the description and pin comment down below. Use my promo code to save and support the channel and keep everything nice, cool, and dry. Gina Carano calls out the Hollywood Reporter's Richard Newby as a journalist who sold out America and exposes his utter ignorance. I mean, you just love to see it. I love everything about these stories. This via boundingintocomics.com. Carano's comments came after Newby asserted that he would never stop laughing at the fact that Carano could have had her own Star Wars series, toys, books, and comics and apparel. He added that she was that close. She didn't just fumble the bag. She dumped it out and put her head in it and cut off her air supply. Again, this is his response to somebody having a backbone, right? To having their own convictions. Gina Carano famously blacklisted by Disney because 45 trans people on Twitter didn't like that she wouldn't bow to their demands and use preferred pronouns. That's essentially what it ended up being. And so he put out this snarky tweet because, on January 9th, a reminder that Gina Carano's latest movie made $804 at the box office. $804, not thousands, not millions, 804. But it never went to the box office. I can't imagine it was in more than one cinema, maybe for a private showing. Despite working for the Hollywood Reporter, Newby would seemingly be unaware that Terror on the Prairie released exclusively on Daily Wire Plus, at least at the time. In response to the user claiming that none of Carano's supporters bought a ticket to see the film, Newby replied, because they're not really supporters. Really? I paid to see the movie. A lot of people paid to see the movie. Maybe you should go to a Comic-Con or an event where there's a signing and compare lines and see how many people are there to see Gina Carano. Carano responded to Newby's comments, writing, here is a contributor of the Hollywood Reporter who repeatedly joins in an online mob of mostly anonymous accounts harassing me. She then informed him about Terror on the Prairie's exclusive release on Daily Wire Plus. Are you aware that we released Terror on the Prairie exclusively on Daily Wire and you didn't know that? Or are ignorance and spreading hate your only purpose here? A fair question to ask, right? Carano then addressed Newby's claims that she fumbled the bag and wrote, I didn't fumble the bag. I just didn't go along with the sellout narrative. And the online mob couldn't handle that, so they petitioned to have me fired and won. I'm not sorry for that. I stood for what I believe in. The right thing to do was, and the more time that goes by, the better I feel, Carano declared. She then went after Newby, describing him as a sellout journalist and the one who sold out America. Carano tweeted, "The genuine bag fumble is sellout journalists like you who sold out America and stopped asking questions to be liked by a fickle, manipulated mob. That is what you valued, and that will be your legacy," Carano proclaimed. Absolutely, absolutely savage, right? And of course, in the face of that, Richard Newby blocked her. Real tough guy, right? Get all those likes and retweets attacking Gina Carano. Honestly, maybe the kindest person I've ever met in real life. And that's what you do. I bet you this clown talked junk from behind the block too. Of course, Newby's claim about Carano fumbling the bag is utterly ridiculous. For those who don't remember, or don't know, or don't remember, or have bought the false narrative peddled by individuals like Richard Newby, Carano was fired by Lucasfilm and the Walt Disney Company for posting a meme warning about the dangers of hating your neighbor. Carano posted a screenshot from Warrior Priest Jim podcast to her Instagram stories. It read, of course, as we remember, I think anytime you're going to compare Jewish people or what happened to them leading up to the Second World War, it's a dangerous. I'm not saying that it's inherently incorrect or that, she wasn't even correct, because I think she was. It's just using that vehicle is a dicey one. And people will selectively be outraged by it. If they agree with your cause, they'll say you're more than welcome to use what happened to the Jewish population during that period to drive your point home. But if they don't agree with your cause, then they're suddenly worried about anti-Semitism and they're offended. I've seen it play out 24 times, right? Pedro Pascal can use the Holocaust to drive points home, but Gina Carano can't. Which is, in general, why I would just avoid using it to drive home any points. But that doesn't mean she wasn't wrong, or that she was wrong. Following this post, an anonymous Disney spokesperson announced that Carano's firing and accused her of denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities. The spokesperson stated that Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there are no plans for her to be in the future. Nevertheless, her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable, the spokesperson said. There's nothing wrong with this meme, and the memorial even posted a similar sentiment back in 2018. No, there's of course nothing. But you have this Richard Newby guy, however, Newby appears to engage in hating people as he's constantly targeting individuals like Carano that he appears to disagree with political. At the beginning of last year, Newby asserted that Evangeline Lilly was spinning herself right out of the MCU alongside Letitia Wright after she protested against Polk mandates. I mean, again, this is what the media wants, though. Look at all the people that stood up against this. And by the way, I have to probably guess that Evangeline Lilly is probably in the thinnest of ices, but she's remained relatively consistent in fighting back against the, Polk mandates and things of that nature. Letitia Wright had said probably some of the spiciest stuff about the Polk, but she got right back in line like Disney wanted, right? We want to tell everyone that we uplift black voices, but not their actual voices, just black people to say what we want them to say. That's what Disney really wants. That's what the left wants. That's why they, when I talk about the left and their use of the black community as purse puppies, right? You can have all this success, black person, but make sure you never step out of line. Make sure you don't question the narrative, because we'll take it away from you. Sure feels like that, doesn't it? When questioned by a user, Newby claimed that Lilly should be silenced because she wasn't a scientist. Evangeline Lilly isn't a scientist, last time I checked. It's not a matter of an opinion. It's a matter of public health. Oh, all these opinions, by the way, aged like fine wine, didn't they? All these stick me daddy, weirdos, all their opinions sure age like fine wine. It's absolutely pathetic to see. Make sure you remember to check out this video sponsor, Sheath. Their link is in the description below. Strong long-term sponsor, important sponsor. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it, and we'll talk to you again real soon.